Welcome back to Decked Out.
On today's episode, we're joined by Melissa DeTora, a lead game designer for Wizards of the Coast. And each player has brought to the table the Precon that they think is the best ever printed.
And you know it, thank you to our sponsors, Tales of Adventure, Moxfield, and Ultimate Guard. More on them, of course, later in the episode.
All right, that's enough from us for now. Let's go ahead and see which deck each player thinks is the best.
Hey everyone, I'm Melissa DeTora. I'm a senior game designer at Wizards of the Coast. Today I'm playing Zarek the Silent King. He's the leader of the Warhammer 40,000 Necron Commander deck. I picked this deck as the deck to play today because I think this deck is awesome. It's really fun, really powerful. It's one of my favorite Precons that we've done in a long time. Has so much synergy, like you just like mill a bunch of cards and get some unearthed things, you can reanimate things, and just like using the graveyard as a resource is really fun. And it also goes wide with artifact creature tokens and has like just lots of go wide synergy as well. So super fun deck, and I'm really looking forward to playing it.
Today, I'm gonna show you how there ain't no party like a Planeswalker party. The commander, you know him, you love him, he's rough, he's tough, he's Commodore, guff, and stuff. And this is my favorite Precon deck because it's built a little different than how most people in the community were building Planeswalker decks in the past. Usually, these decks want to put a bunch of Planeswalkers in play and accrue value over time and make the other players at the table wish they weren't playing anymore. But this one actually wants to kill them and stop them from playing the game right away by doing direct damage to face.
I'm VeggieWagon, and today I'm playing the Ulalek Fused Atrocity Precon. Now, 5-color soup and Eldrazi are not really my thing, but also winning the game is not really my thing. So this must therefore be one of the best Precons ever made. And I do really like causing unnecessarily complicated stacks, so now we're using our noodle.
I'm MTGNerdGirl, and today I brought party time to the table. The commander is Nalia D. Arnice. Now, she cares a lot about having different creature classes, creature types, on the battlefield to create a full party to get value. We were told to bring the best Precon ever made by Wizards, and I don't know that this is the most powerful, but I do think it's one of the most well-built commander decks that they've ever done, and it's definitely one of the community's favorites, so I think it's a perfect fit for today's game. Next week is the release of Tarkir Dragonstorm, and that is why today's featured sponsor is TOA.
Tales of Adventure is just consistently the best place to pick up singles, not only because they support your favorite commander show, but also because they carry everything from base level staples that you might need for every one of your decks to the most premium possible versions of cards, and they got everything in between.
They also have all of the Tarkir stuff you need to pre-order, and there's no better time to do it because you get 5% off any of your sealed product or singles when you use code DECKEDOUT at checkout, and that goes a long way in helping us continue to make this show.
Now, you've seen a bunch of those spoilers and the commander decks that are coming out for the set, and you know that they are going to be incredible, but now it's time to take a look at some of those previous Precons.
Welcome to the table. Let's see who goes first. 19?
15.
1.
I'll take that. I'm gonna play this Temple of Triumph tapped and scry 1. That will keep on top, and I'll pass.
All right, I will draw a card and I will play a Desert of the Glorified. It's a land that enters tapped and adds B. Go ahead.
I'll play this Tendo Ice Bridge, which enters with a charge counter. I get 1 count of use any mana. Pass.
Temple of Silence, and I will also scry. I'll keep it on top. Pass.
All right, I'll play this Command Tower and then 2 for an Onaki Oathkeeper. It's an 0/4 that says creatures can't attack planeswalkers I control unless their controller pays 1 for each creature they control that's attacking the planeswalker I control. For 4 and 2 white and exiling it from my graveyard, I can return a planeswalker from my graveyard to the battlefield. And pass.
I will play a Swamp and an Arcane Signet. Go ahead.
I'm gonna play an Exotic Orchard and pay 2 for a Talisman of Dominance and pass.
I'm gonna play a Plains and play an Orzhov Signet. Pass.
All right, I'll play this Plains for turn and then 3 for a Gatewatch Beacon. It enters the battlefield with 3 loyalty counters on it and it taps for white. And then when a planeswalker or ETB is under my control, I can move the loyalty counters from the beacon to that planeswalker. And pass.
I will play a Swamp, and then it's time for my commander. Zarek, the Silent King. He's a 3/4 flyer. When he attacks, I can mill 3, and I can put an artifact, creature, or vehicle card from among the milled cards into my hand. Go ahead.
I'll play a Cascading Cataracts and a Snapping Voidcraw. It's a 1/3 Eldrazi. I can tap it to add 2 colorless or pay 3 and a colorless to tap and draw a card. Pass.
My land for turn is going to be a Windbrisk Heights. And as Hideaway 4, it means I get to look at the top 4 and put one of them underneath. And then for 1 white and a tap, I can play it if I've attacked with 3 or more creatures. I will put this card underneath. And then I'll go ahead and follow suit, and I will also play my commander. Nalia de Arnis, a 3/3 that says I can look at the top of my library at any time. I can cast clerics, rogues, warriors, and wizard spells from the top of my library. And at the beginning of combat on my turn, if I have a full party, I get to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature I control, and they gain Death Touch until end of turn. I will look at the top of my library because I wanna.
You can just do that whenever you want.
Yeah.
Whenever you want.
And then I will pass the turn.
Okay. All right, I'll play this Rugged Prairie as my land for turn, and then we'll pay 2 for a Borrow Signet, and then we'll pay 4 for my commander, Commodore Guffenstuff. At the beginning of my end step, I put a loyalty counter on another target planeswalker I control. I can +1 to make a 1/1 red wizard that taps for mana to cast planeswalker spells, and I can -3 to draw X, deal X to each opponent where X is the number of planeswalkers I control. I'll +1 and make my 1/1 red wizard token. And I will move a loyalty counter from the beacon onto Guff when he comes into play. So we'll have a total of 7 loyalty on Commodore Guff. Okay, at the end of the turn, there's no other targets for Commodore Guff, so we'll just pass.
I will play a Swamp. And here is the Scepter of Eternal Glory. It's an artifact that taps for 3 mana of any color, but I can only do that if I control 3 or more lands with the same name. And I happen to have 3 swamps right here, so this thing taps for 3 mana. So I just played this Scepter of Eternal Glory, and this card is so important for my game plan right now. It's going to allow me to double spell and like get my 7-drops online early. So, you know, looks pretty innocuous, but it's actually like very powerful here.
That's good.
Yeah. Now I'm going to tap 4 and play Imitek the Stormlord. Whenever 1 or more artifacts leave my graveyard, I can make 2 Necron artifact creature tokens. And he also has beginning of combat. On my turn, another target artifact creature I control gets +2/+2 and menace until end of turn. Okay, it is now beginning of combat on my turn. I'm going to have this guy get +2/+2 and menace until end of turn. And sadly, I cannot attack Commodore Guff, even though I would love to, but I don't have the 1 mana to pay for that. So instead, I'm going to just attack Airball's face.
Yeah.
So when this guy attacks, I mill 3. And then I can return a creature or vehicle card milled this way to my hand. I only milled 1 creature card, so I'm going to return this thing. When this leaves my graveyard, I make 2 Necron Warrior artifact creature tokens. All right, here are the Necron Warrior tokens. All right, and coming at you for 5, Airball.
For 5, Commander. Nothing I can do there.
All right, I will pass the turn.
I'll play this Eldrazi Temple, and then I'm gonna pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Everflowing Chalice, kicked 3 times. So it'll come in with 3 charge counters and taps for 3 colorless. And then I'll just tap it and the Eldrazi Temple to cast my commander, Ulalek Fused Atrocity. 2/5. Whenever I cast an Eldrazi spell, I can pay 2 colorless. If I do, copy all spells I control, then copy all other activated and triggered abilities I control, and I can choose new targets.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Now who's the threat?
Now, I mean,
It might still be me.
this at least they have to figure it out now. I'll pass the turn.
Land for turn is going to be a Myriad Landscape. My play for the turn is going to be a Bloodsoaked Champion, a 2/1 that can't block. It also has Raid, pay 2, and I can return it from the graveyard to the battlefield only if I've attacked this turn.
I think Melissa is the one I'm more scared of right now.
Oh yeah, I would also be scared of me. There's a lot going on here.
How much does your commander cost?
He costs 4.
All right, I will pass the turn.
Oh no.
What?
That sounds suspicious.
Okay. I'll play Plains as my land for turn, and then we'll pay 5 for Chandra Legacy of Fire. Beginning of my end step, Chandra deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of planeswalkers I control, currently 2. She can +1 to add red for each planeswalker I control, or I can activate her 0 ability to remove a loyalty counter from each of any number of permanents I control, exile that many cards from the top of my library, I can play them this turn. Chandra would normally enter with 3 loyalty counters, but the Gatewatch Beacon will allow me to move 1 loyalty counter from it onto her, and I will also plus her, so she'll end up with 5 loyalty counters. And then we'll pay 5 for Oath of Teferi. When it enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent I control, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, and importantly, I can activate the loyalty ability of planeswalkers I control twice each turn instead of just once.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
So with the Oath of Teferi, I will blink the Gatewatch Beacon, it will come back on my end step. I'll plus Commodore Guff to make another wizard. And then I'll -3 Commodore Guff to deal 2 damage to everyone and draw 2 cards.
All right.
Ooh. What happened?
Yeah, I thought you were the threat. Now I'm not so sure.
And I will also plus Chandra 1 more time, up to 6. For 2 more floating mana, which I will use to cast this Talisman of Progress. And then I'm good to move to my end step, at which point the Gatewatch Beacon will come back into play with 3 loyalty counters on it. And Commodore Guff will put a loyalty counter onto Chandra.
Huh.
And that's the turn.
All right.
On your end step.
Yeah, get him.
I mean, Melissa told me to get her, so I'm gonna despark, I'm gonna exile your commander, permanent value 4 or greater.
Okay.
I'm just gonna slow you down a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. So NerdGirl just desparked my commander, and I'm actually pretty happy about this because the more important creature on my board is the Imhotep, because the Imhotep is the thing that's giving me Necrons every turn, it's giving my stuff Menace, it's just giving me big attackers. So this is the more important creature to me, so I'm glad she killed the other guy.
Also on my end step, Chandra will ping everyone for the number of planeswalkers I control, which is 2.
I'm gonna play a Mask of Memory. It's an equipment. When equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, I may draw 2 cards. If I do, discard a card. Then I will tap this for 3 and play Scorpek Lord. He has Menace, and my other artifact creatures get +1/+0 in Menace. He also has Unearth, but that is only relevant later. I'll then pay 1 and equip this baby Necron. I'm ready to attack somebody. I'll send 7 at Veggie. It's all Menace. And then this guy is a 3/2 Menace. He will come at... Oh, good question. Do I want to pay the 1? Not really. This guy will come at Airball for 3 with Menace.
Okay, can't do anything about that.
I definitely can't block Menace.
I'll take 3.
And 7.
Okay, and then Mask of Memory will have me draw 2, discard 1. I'll then play a Wayfarer's Bauble. It's an artifact that I can sacrifice for 2 mana to search for a basic and put it into play tapped. And I will do that. Sack it to get a swamp tapped. And then I'll pass the turn.
I kept an opening hand filled entirely with ramp, thinking, surely I will find some sort of big payoff by the time that I can use this mana. But it's not here, so I'm probably just going to have to use this Snapping Voidcraw to dig for some sort of big creature. I think I'm just gonna start by paying 5 and using 4 of it to draw a card with the Snapping Voidcraw. I'll play a Wastes, and I'll use that plus the one I have left floating for a Talisman of Impulse, and then I'll spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and take a damage from my Talisman to cast Ugin's Insight. I scry X, where X is the highest mana value among permanents I control, and then draw 3 cards. Right now, it's only 5. I'm gonna put 2 back on top and 3 on the bottom, and then draw 3 cards. But that is all I have for this turn. Pass.
That thing you did with the despark, can you do it again?
You're gonna have to do something.
I'm a little bit scared of Airball at this point, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and play a Plains for turn. I will tap 4 for Felisa, Fang of Silverquill, a 3/2 with flying and mentor. Also, whenever a non-token creature I control dies, if it had a counter on it, I get to make a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying, where X is the number of counters it had on it. I'm gonna pay 1 for a Changeling Outcast, a shapeshifter changeling. It's a 1/1, and it cannot be blocked. Changeling Outcast is one of my favorite cards in the set because it fills any gap you have in your party, which I think is a big downfall in this deck. So having the flexibility, depending on what your opponents remove or what cards you draw, you always have party. Important to note, it is a shapeshifter, and that does give me Rogue, Warrior, Wizard, and Cleric. So going to my combat step, I will get a +1/+1 counter on every creature I control. And they all get Death Touch, which is also very cool.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go ahead and pay 1 to attack Airball with something. And I am going to send the Bloodsoak Champion to Chandra, and then I'm going to send Nalia to Veggie. A 4/4 with Death Touch.
Oh yeah, I'm not blocking that.
Does anything happen when it connects?
It has Death Touch, and hopefully it at least eats something.
Yeah, Chandra's a big girl. She'll take 3.
Yes.
And Death Touch, so it's gone.
Yeah, Death Touch.
Look, she has plot armor. Death Touch is no matter.
I will pass the turn.
Oh, look, a really good card off the top. All right, let's pay 4 for Chandra Torch of Defiance. She can +1 to impulse draw the top of my library, and I can play it immediately, and if I don't, 2 damage to everyone. I can +1 to add 2 floating red mana. I can -3 to deal 4 damage to a creature, or I can -7 to get an emblem that says whenever I cast a spell, that emblem deals 5 damage to any target. I'll move one of the counters from the Gatewatch Beacon over to her. And then I'll plus her to impulse draw the top of my library, and we'll see if we play it or not. It is a deploy the Gatewatch, which I don't have the mana to cast, so everyone's gonna take 2. So that one's gone for good.
Whoop, whoop.
Then I'll -3 Commodore Guff. Everyone will take 3 upstairs and I'll draw 3.
I am dying. Very quickly.
I'm going to plus this Chandra again for 2 floating red mana. Okay, so we have 2 floating red mana from that Chandra. We'll pay 2 for 5, 6 for an Elspeth Sun's Champion. She can +1 to create 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. She can -3 to destroy all creatures with power 4 or greater, and she can -7 to get an emblem with creatures I control have +2/+2 and flying. I will move a counter from the Gatewatch Beacon over to her, and then we will -3 her to destroy all creatures with power 4 or more.
That will take out the Imatech on my side.
That's going to take out my commander and Felisa, but I will get 2 Inklings.
And luckily, Eldrazi are pretty small, so that doesn't hit anything on my board.
Airball minusing Elspeth to kill one of Melissa's creatures was really rough for me. It definitely hit my board the hardest, and I'm definitely not the threat here. And because 2 creatures died with +1/+1 counters, I get to make Inklings based on the counters, which is 2.
Then I'll go ahead and I'll plus Elspeth to make 3 1/1 white soldiers. I'll go ahead and plus this Chandra to add 4 floating red mana. I'll use 2 of it, a red and a white, taking a pain off the talisman, to cast Narset of the Ancient Way. She can +1 to gain 2 life and add any Jeskai mana, spend it only to cast a non-creature spell. -2, I can draw a card, and then I may discard a card. When I discard a non-land card that way, Narset deals damage equal to its mana value to target creature or planeswalker, and -6, I get an emblem with whenever I cast a non-creature spell, that emblem deals 2 damage to any target. When Narset comes into play, I will move a counter from the Gatewatch Beacon onto her. So she'll have 5 total loyalty. I'll -2 Narset to draw a card. Okay, well then I'll discard this Talisman of Creativity to deal 2 damage to the Lord.
All right.
I'll minus her again. And I'll choose not to discard there. I'll plus Commodore Guff for 1 final time, make another wizard. And then I am good to move to my end step, at which point I'll have Commodore Guff trigger to put a counter on Narset. Chandra Legacy of Fire will trigger to deal 2, 3, 4, 5 damage to each player.
I'll still do this. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the Technomancer. When he enters, I mill 3, then return any number of artifact creature cards with total mana value 6 or less from graveyard to the battlefield. So here's my mill 3. It was nothing of interest. And I'm going to return just this guy to the battlefield, the Imitek. So I now have the Necron engine online again. I'll play a land from hand and then unearth the Menace Man. When a card leaves my graveyard, I make 2 more Necrons. And now I have 1 mana that I can attack a Planeswalker with, so not really doing it, but maybe I can force some blocks. Beginning of combat, I am going to give this Necron Warrior +2/+2 until end of turn. So that will make this creature a 5/4 with Menace, and this is a 3/2 with Menace. I will send the 5/4 with Menace at Airball.
Leave Narset,
Leave Narset? Okay.
because I have this little guy that's unblockable.
Great. I'll send the 3/2 with Menace at Elspeth, paying the 1.
Okay, so 5 coming at my face, 2 coming at Elspeth.
3 at Elspeth, because this is +1/+0.
Okay, I'll put 2 soldiers in front of the 3 power coming at Elspeth, and I'll take 5 to the face.
All right, sounds good. So you lose 2 soldiers, I lose 1 of the Necrons. When this hits you, I'm going to draw 2, discard 1. I will discard a Swamp. And then at end of turn, this guy gets exiled. And I will pass the turn.
All right. I'm going to pay 1 green to play Ancient Stirrings. I look at the top 5 cards in my library, reveal a colorless card from among them, put it in my hand. The rest go on the bottom. Please, something good. I'm going to hope to live and grab this Ulamog's Dreadsire. I'll play a mountain, and then I'm going to pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Ugin the Ineffable. Colorless spells I cast cost 2 less to cast. I can pay 1 to exile a top card of my library and make a 2/2 spirit. When that spirit goes away, I put the card in my hand, and I can -3 to destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. Ugin sets me up really well for my next turn and allows me to get 1 problem off the board, but everything is a problem. At this point, I just have to remove the thing that will kill me immediately as opposed to the thing that will kill me eventually. Yeah, I'm definitely going to just immediately -3 and get rid of Chandra Torch.
Destroy?
Destroy.
Okay.
Then I'm going to pay 1, 2 to cast Wastegate Battle Mage. It's a 2/2, and I'm going to kick it for 1 and a blue. When I cast the spell, if it was kicked with that 1 and a blue, I return target creature to its owner's hand. But I'm also going to pay 2 more for Ulalek's ability. When I cast an Eldrazi spell, I can pay to copy all spells and then all abilities. So I will get 2 of these Wastegate Battle Mages that are kicked. So these will both come in, and we're going to bounce the Onaki Oathkeeper and your Wizard that's untapped.
Okay.
All right, no taxes for now. I'll finish up by paying 1 more here. and playing a Herald's Horn. Creature spells of the chosen type, which will be Eldrazi, costs 1 less. And at the beginning of my upkeep, I can look at the top card and put it into my hand if it's an Eldrazi. I will go to combat, and I will send Ulalek at Narset.
All right, well, the soldier has done its duty. We will block Ulalek with it.
Whew. All right. That's everything I got. Hopefully that helps some.
So my other teammates, if I throw all of my creatures at these planeswalkers, will you guys not kill me?
I won't attack you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Okay, then I will go to combat. We're gonna do Champion to Elspeth, Unblockable to Narset, and the 2 Inklings to Commodore Guff.
Okay, so everything will die except Chandra, who is untouched.
Correct.
Sure.
On attacks,
Ooh.
I'm gonna use my hideaway. I've attacked with 3 creatures, and I can play this without casting its mana cost, which I think also breaks time restrictions.
Yes.
Yes.
We're gonna play Dire Fleet Ravager, an Orc Pirate Wizard. It's a 4/4 with Menace and Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, each player loses a third of their life rounded up.
A third.
Third.
Do we need to break out a calculator for this?
Veggie, you're not losing hardly anything. So it's 9 for the 3 of us, I guess.
Yep.
And
5.
5? Oh, God. Okay.
We can go to damage?
Yep.
All right.
Because I know that if I send everything, I'm probably just dead to like the army. And then I'm gonna play a Mortuary Mire, which allows me to put a creature card from my graveyard on top of my library. I'm a really big fan of the Fang, so I will just put that on top and draw it. I will pass the turn.
We'll pay 6 to bring Commodore Guff back out. Let's go ahead and plus Chandra once to get 2 floating mana. And then we'll use that 2 floating mana and a further 2 to cast Spark Double. Spark Double is going to enter as a copy of Commodore Guff, and it'll enter with 6 loyalty counters on it. We'll go ahead and -3 the copy Commodore Guff to deal 3 damage everywhere and draw 3 cards.
Oh my God, Veggie.
Veggie might die right now.
Yes, Airball has the choice to kill me right now.
Yes.
At this point, I could try and make some sort of deal with Airball to keep myself alive, even though he's got the kill on board. But then I'd also have to make a deal with Melissa, and probably with NerdGirl, and maybe with myself.
Okay, so now I'll plus Chandra Legacy of Fire. And I'll get 3 floating red mana. And I'll use that 3 floating red mana right away to cast Saheeli Sublime Artificer. She's a planeswalker that says whenever I cast a non-creature spell, I make a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token, and I can neg to her to make an artifact I control become a copy of another artifact or creature I control until the end of turn, except it's also an artifact in addition to its other types. I'll play this island as my land for turn, and then I'll pay 1 white to cast Swords to Plowshares, and I'll target Ulalek.
How dare you?
That'll trigger Saheeli, I'll get a servo.
I can't help. I'm guessing he wants the servo.
Yeah, I think that is the only purpose of this spell. We'll back to the command zone, and I will gain 2. Surely that will save me.
Yeah, gain that sweet life.
Yeah.
Then I'll go ahead and -2 Saheeli to turn the servo into a copy of Talisman of Progress. And then I'll pay 3, taking a pain off of this Talisman of Progress, to cast Jace Beleren. He's a planeswalker, his abilities don't particularly matter, but I can +2 to have everyone draw a card, I can -1 to have a target player draw a card, and I can -10 to have target player mill 20. But importantly, that's a non-creature spell, so I'll get another servo. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and -3 this Commodore Guff down to 2. I'll draw 5 and everyone will take 5. And then I'll go ahead and -3 this Commodore Guff. I'll draw 4 and everyone will take.
Rip.
I'll go ahead and plus Commodore Guff to make another wizard. And then I'll go ahead and I'll minus Jace once to have me draw a card. And then I'll minus Jace again to have me draw a card. And then I'll move to my end step and I'll have Commodore Guff put a counter on Chandra and then we'll deal 4 to the table.
Oh boy. Like if we team up, we can kill him.
So what,
But-
only got 2 blockers?
But I do believe he needs to die before he takes a turn, so I'll try my best. Okay, so I'll play a Swamp, and then 3, 4, 5 mana to play this guy. When he enters, I destroy up to 1 creature, and target player mills 3 cards. I'm going to destroy this wizard, and I will mill 3 cards.
Okay.
So I milled a creature with Unearth. It has Unearth 6 mana, and it can't be blocked except by 6 or more creatures. I can't believe I flipped this Hexmark Destroyer off of this mill creature. Like, this actually now allows me to kill Airball. That was a really great flip. Okay, so I'm going to play this Unearth creature. It costs 6 to Unearth. When I remove an artifact from my graveyard, I make 2 Necrons. Here's 2 Necrons. And then I will swing at Airball with, I guess first I'm going to give something +2/+2 in Menace until end of turn. It'll be this guy here. So this is 13, and I will swing at Airball with everything. So this guy cannot be blocked. This guy cannot be blocked. And then these are coming at you.
And what's the biggest thing that can be blocked?
That can be blocked. This 3/3 can be blocked.
So what's left?
Dead.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Okay.
Okay. No blocks.
No blocks. All right. Well, you die, but I will still draw 2 cards with Mask of Memory and discard 1 card. I will discard a Vault of Whispers. Okay, I'm done.
I'm gonna play this cool card. Butcher of Malakir. A 5/4 with flying that says whenever it or another creature I control dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature. So if you kill some things, hopefully that will help me. And Melissa, you're gonna get the whole team.
Okay, well, I'm gonna play Darkness. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn.
I just got black fogged.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yep.
I was like, with 1 black mana, surely there's nothing that you could do.
Yeah, everyone forgets that darkness exists in Magic the Gathering.
Okay, go.
Go to damage.
I take no damage. And then I go.
You do. I didn't leave open 1 black. Uh-oh.
What about 1 green?
Nope, not that either.
Well, since you have no mana, I am going to give one of my things Menace and then attack you with the guy that cannot be blocked except by 6 or more creatures and the guy with Menace.
And
Yeah.
I'm dead. Oh no.
1 is not 0.
Life is a resource. Winning at one life is the same as winning at 20.
Kick him in the robot balls. You get the reference.
We did all that work, and
You didn't get the reference?
I wasn't listening, to be honest with you.
I was really happy with the way my deck played. Like, I was able to do all of the cool Necron synergy stuff, got a bunch of tokens, unearthed a bunch of stuff, killed things, felt really powerful. So yeah, I'm really happy with the outcome of that game. Not only because I won, I just think the deck played really great.
Don't forget to support your favorite Commander show by doing something you were going to do anyway, and that's buy Magic singles. And you can do so by using our sponsor, TOA.
it really is that easy. And Tales of Adventure has a wide selection of singles from the most basic printings all the way through the most premium versions. And they've also started stocking sealed product now, so you don't need to go anywhere else for anything Magic.
And you get 5% off your entire order when you use code DECKEDOUT at checkout.
And you should know by now, the link is down in the description, right there.
him like using that board clear only hurt me. It's really sad.
Hey, it slightly inconvenienced Melissa as well.
It did, yeah.
That was classic decked out gaming. I monopolized most of the time in the game by trying to combo off and taking game actions with planeswalkers before the responsible gamers Melissa and NerdGirl eventually killed me, and Veggie was there.
If you're building decks and you're not using Moxfield, then I feel bad for you. It just is the best tool for organizing, customizing, and collaborating on all of your decks.
In fact, it's the only way that our team can keep up with building sometimes over 20 decks per month. And it's the way that we can share our deck lists with you in a nice, easy format.
You can always support the show too, just by following us on Moxfield, where you can find every deck that's ever been on the show. My life total got stripped away so quickly by the other 3 decks at the table. Even though I ended the game with a bunch of mana and some big plays available, I just didn't have the time to get any of them onto the board. Ugin may be ineffable, but I got efficiently removed from the game. Ugin may be ineffable, but I got effed. You know, for failure.
Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in TCG accessories.
And Ultimate Guard products are the way that all 3 of us on the Decked Out team are able to organize, protect, and display our collections. And they're the best way to show off all of our cards on camera for you.
So make sure you use the link down below in the description to support the show and pick yourself up some amazing upgrades. I cannot believe how quickly things escalated with a table full of precons. And once I had made that deal with Melissa, I thought I was home free. But unfortunately, I could have never seen a black fog coming. We'd like to wrap the video up by thanking our patrons and YouTube members. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to film these episodes.
It's specifically thanks to patrons and members like you, L, that were able to make this show weekly and bring you such a beautiful produced thing, and that means a ton to us.
So make sure you guys head on over to the Patreon and become a part of the show if you haven't already. You can unlock those exclusive perks. You get monthly signed tokens, spell table games with us, deck techs, even have us play your upgraded precons here on the show.
And of course, Schnorn, you can always support the channel by clicking like on the video, subscribing to the channel. That is all that we've got for you for today. We'll see you next time on Decked Out.